Good morning. In this session, we are going to work with fragments in the Android application. Fragments is nothing but in the same fragment block, we can change the web views, different web views we can change via fragments. For example, if you want to open within the same page, first I want to open google.com page on clicking on one button or menu item, and I need to open swarnandhra.ac.in in another web page in the same fragment or same location. Then these fragments are very useful. So multiple fragments can be used within the activity to create flexible layouts. So we will create two different fragments. One fragment work with one website and another fragment will work with another website, and we will combine together by using fragment manager and fragment transition WebView. By using these four components, we can work and create this environment. The fragment, so it is used to reusable portion of UI inside an activity. So every activity is nothing but we are considering as a Android screen. Fragment manager manages fragment transactions, means one fragment to another fragment. Fragment can be shuffled or changed. It can be handled by the fragment manager. Fragment transaction, so we can add the fragment, we can replace existing fragment. All these things we can do by using the fragment transaction. What is the web view? Web view is nothing but display a web page inside a web view. So I will connect this web view to fragment, and that fragment can be changed from one fragment to another fragment by using fragment manager and fragment transaction. This is our concept. Okay. For this purpose, we need to create new two fragments. So one by one we will go through that. First, in the activity.main XML, we will create two buttons. One button is used to open the Google web page, another button is used to open Swarnandhra, and I am using the fragment layout. In the fragment layout, when I click on open Google, by using fragment and fragment transition, I will open that Google page in this fragment layout, and button to clicked Swarnandhra website I will open in fragment layout. Means, so by button clicking, actually previous example we done opening web page, it is already done by us, but right now I am working on fragment layout. Using this we can change the fragment transition we are practicing here. So first of all, I am creating an Android application. So I am creating a fragment example. So I am creating a new project, an empty activity, and next I am using fragment example application. So I need to select Java language because we are using Java, and API, as per our IDE we must select API 25, and I need to finish. So first my application is created. So now I need to create, once the Gradle building is completed, I need to create two buttons and one frame layout. So Gradle building is in process. It took 1 or 2 minutes time based on your internet and system speed. It is in process. So now the application is created. So now I need to open the project and I need to minimize external library in the application. source, main, resource and layout activity.main XML. So it is the design view. I need to the code view. I don't want the text button. I want two buttons on fragment layout. So I am creating the button. And button width means screen width I need to set. That's why I am selecting the match parent. And wrap content based on the text height I need to set. So for this purpose I need to give an ID. So I am giving ID is btn1 and I need to give some text to display on the button. So open Google, I am using this name to show on the button. So I need to create another button with open Swarnandra. So wrap content width should be matched to the parent, height should be matched to the text we given. That's why we are using wrap content. So I am giving some name for ID. So ID is btn2 Android. I need to give some text for this. So I am giving open Swarnandra. So I created two buttons. Now I need to create a frame layout. So it is nothing but to show our fragments. So it should be matched to the parent. Height and width we need to match it to the parent. So I need to give some name to this. Android ID. It's like a variable for us. And I'm giving frame layout. So I created three components, but I need to constrain weights I need to provide. First of all, here we have the frame layout. It is actually not visible to you. So first I need to create the weights for the frame layout. So I am creating the weights for the frame layout. So I need to get down nearly 150. So frame layout is get down. So now I need to select open Swarnandra button and I need to provide the weights. So whenever you need to select, there is no weights in the bottom, 0. On top I need to select like I am giving 80. Okay, and I need to select the open Google button. I need to provide the weights. So there is no bottom is 0. On top I am providing 24 or something. So constraint weights is completed. My screen design is also completed. So now I need to create two fragments. So in the Java, previously we created activity, but now we need to create a fragment. New, instead of activity, I need to select a fragment. I am creating an empty fragment. So the fragment name is Fragment1. Fragment1. So automatically fragment_1.xml will be created. So this is the fragment1 and it is the fragment1.xml. Now in this don't touch anything, only directly go to the on create view. This is only we are going to use. Okay, and before going to this we need to create two web views in fragment1 XML and fragment2 XML. We required two web views are required. For that purpose I need to create one more fragment. It is fragment2. So I want to create fragment2 also. Now fragment_2 XML will be created. So observe in the layout, one is fragment1.xml and another one is fragment2.xml. First I need to create in the design view So I need to create web view. So in the web view, so it can be matched to the parent because entire fragment one screen using for view purpose only. That's why both I can use for match parent. There is no default, only one component is there on the screen. That's why simply we need to give the name. There is no constant weights is also not required. So I am giving web view 1. So it is fragment 1, that's why I given the name for the web view 1. So I need to save it and I need to go to the fragment 2. So here also I need to create another web view, it is web view 2. So only one component, then there is no need of constraint weights. Android, I need to give some ID. So I am giving web view 2. So now I have totally 3 screens. In the first screen I created 2 buttons on one frame layout, and fragment 1 I created one web view, fragment 2 I created one another web view. So in the fragment 1 I need to tell that so open particular web page of Google. So I need to write the code inside the on create view. Don't touch the remaining methods. These are all by default it will create. These are the override methods. Whenever we required we can use these methods. That's all. Don't touch. Otherwise, if you are in confusion, you can remove it also. So first we will try to without touching them. So I am deleting this environment. Here I need to type my code. It is on create view. So where we are going to view Google web page. Okay. So first for this purpose I am creating a view. View is equal to, so inflator, I need to use inflator dot inflate of. So I need to select the layout r dot layout dot. We have 2 fragments. First fragment I am selecting. On this fragment only I need to show the data. So take this and consider it is a container, means it can hold other web pages. And the third option we are using false. So attach it to the root. We are not attaching, it is an individual page. So view is created. Finally I need to return the view. Okay. So now in between I need to work with the view. The view should be replaced or connected with our web view for open Google like this. Okay. So I am creating a web view component internally. Web view is a variable is equal to, so view should be connected with find view by ID. Basically we will use r dot id dot web view 1 I am connecting. So now view is connected with web view. So for web view I need to set web view client. Web view dot set web view client of and new web view client of. So for web view I enable the web view client and I need to give the settings. Web view dot get settings of dot set Java settings enabled true. Otherwise Java script is not going to run inside the web view. So for the web view I need to connect our web page. So it is a WebView 1. That's why I'm connecting Google page. So https www.google.com. So I connected for the WebView. So finally, because WebView connected with load here, for WebView I enabled the JavaScript. For WebView client enabled. WebView is assigned to view, and view is going to be written. This is the concept. The same concept I need to do for fragment 2 for WebView 2. Okay, so I need to save it. Actually these are all not required. Okay, next fragment 2. In the fragment 2 also I need to go directly to the on create view. First of all I am deleting this line. 1 minute. Select shift and end. I am deleting. Same way I need to create in the fragment 2 also. First I need to create a view component is equal to inflator dot inflate of. So what screen means fragment 2 screen I need to select r dot layout dot fragment 2 comma it is a container comma and it is not attaching to the root false. I will attach this to root in different way. Written view. This view is going to be written. In between for this view means for the screen I am attaching my web view. For this purpose I am creating my web view is equal to view dot find view by id of r dot id dot WebView 2. Now WebView dot set WebView client and new WebView client off. Now WebView should enabled with JavaScript dot get settings of dot set JavaScript enabled true. Now WebView dot load URL of in double quotes https www dot swarnandhra.ac.in means for one fragment I connected google.com and another fragment I connected the swarnandhra.ac.in. So now the two fragments are independent, these are not attached to the main. So I need to attach it to the main activity by using on button click. I need to open this. That's why I need to create one fragment inflator or fragment changing method. I need to create our own. First of all, here this code is not required. I am deleting, and this code is also not required. This is a method in this. Okay. Now inside this first I need to take the two buttons code. Button 1 clicked, what we need to do, button and btn1 comma btn2. So I taken two buttons. So in the general way btn1 is equal to find directly I am connecting find view identity r dot id dot I need to select button 1. Similarly btn2 is equal to find view id r dot id dot btn2. So I have two buttons. When button 1 clicked, I need to load Google fragment. So btn1 dot set on click listener new view on click listener. Similarly, this is the code beginning and ending. For button 2 btn2 dot set on click listener, new view on click listener. It is button 2. So I will write the code inside. So before that I need to create one more method. This on create method is ended here. After this I need to write another method. The method is private void load fragment. It is our own method. Fragment of, it will use Android X fragment.app. So fragment, because Android X fragment.app, this I need to use. Fragment and method begin and method ends. So in this method I am using, so whenever I pass the new fragment, the fragment should be shifted in the record. And get support fragment manager I need to use, and dot begin already told transition already we discussed about this, and I need to replace here. I need to replace r dot id dot, I need to use the frame layout. So through frame layout I am shifting one fragment to another fragment. What the fragment I given, that fragment will be transitioned in the frame layout. This is the concept here. And dot commit, this is the method work. This method will do if I supplied fragment 1 in the frame layout, the fragment 1 is transitioned. If I supplied fragment 2, it will transition fragment 2. So by using this method I am simply passing in button 1 clicked load fragment of new fragment 1 class. In button 2 clicked load fragment of new fragment 2. So like this I am going to transition from one fragment to another fragment. This transition is doing by fragment manager and fragment transition. These two things are making it possible, and transition from one, when button 1 clicked, it will open fragment 1. The fragment 1 showing the Google page. So when I clicked button 2, it loading the fragment 2. Fragment 2 contained the swarnandhra.ac. And additionally in the Android manifest.xml we must give permission for the internet. Permission on Android internet. So if you did not give in the permission, internet permission, it will not work. So now I am going to run this. So it took a few seconds time to load the page. Don't get confused. It is our Swarnandhra website and it is the Google website. When I click, it took few seconds time to load or shift from one fragment to another fragment. It is the smooth fragment transition.